Hi, I'm Shannon,
And I'm Taylor.
and you're listening to Nefarious.
Security, how can I help you?
Hi, is this the University of Utah?
This is. How can I help you?
Okay, this is a dispatch center in the state of Washington. I have a 911 call to transfer you. Hold on one moment, please.
Okay.
Sir, are you still there?
Hi.
Okay, you're on the phone with the dispatch for the University of Utah.
Hi, this is
My
Chris with the University of Utah Police.
Hi, my daughter, Lauren McCluskey, was talking to her mom, and then she just started saying, no, and it sounded like someone might have been grabbing her or something.
Okay. How long ago was this?
This was just 2 minutes ago.
Okay.
Oh, can you come down here?
Does she live on campus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay, and what's her name?
Lauren McCluskey.
Okay, will you spell that last name for me?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, will you spell the last name for me?
Yeah. McCluskey.
Okay. Okay, and what's her date of birth? Okay. And you said the phone line went dead?
Yeah, the phone line went dead.
Okay, have you tried calling her back?
No, I'm sorry. The phone is not dead, but we can't. She must have dropped it, and the phone connection is still here. Do you want the number? Or?
Yes, please, open. Okay, and do you happen to know what building or room number she lives in?
I'm sorry.
Do you know what room number she lives in? And what building?
Yes. What building? Her house. What building does she live in? Okay. She lives in the it's not Base Point, but it's one of the other ones, building 830 something.
Building, what is doctor?
Okay, just concentrate there. Okay. So it's building.
2639-111.
She was walking from GC 1570
Okay.
to her car.
All right. And what was your name?
Pardon?
What's your name?
My name is Matt McCluskey.
Okay. Okay, what's a good phone number for you? All right.
She had broken up with a boy,
Okay.
or a man, recently, and he's a pretty tall black guy. Sean Fields is his name.
Okay. Has he made any threats or anything like that?
His friends were kind of harassing her a little bit. Well, they were. The campus police were involved with that.
Yes. Okay, I have an officer right here that dealt with that. Let me talk to him for 1 second. I'll be right back on with you, okay? I'll still be able to hear you, but you won't be able to hear me.
Okay. I know, we have to concentrate on helping. Okay. So the officer said knows about her and bring my cell phone because I gave him my phone number. Okay? It's upstairs in my closet or on my nightstand in case they call that number. Okay, let's focus. Hello? Hello? Hello?
All right, Matt, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right, and you said she was walking to her car from what building?
From the GC, which is, what is that? Something Commons.
Gardner Commons?
Oh, someone's talking on her phone. Hello?
Hi. I have a backpack and I need a phone.
Okay. Could you just stay there? I think she was mugged.
Is she okay? I was about to call the cops.
I'm talking to the cops.
Okay.
No, but maybe
Somebody found her backpack.
someone picked up her phone and backpack.
I'm trying to get a good location. All right, where is that backpack out? Can you get a location for me? Yeah.
Okay.
Can I look at campus?
I'm on the edge of campus by the one.
Hi, Matt, are you there?
Oh, yeah. I think they're pretty
Right by her apartment.
right by her apartment.
It's right by her apartment.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again?
I'm showing her apartment as,
Yeah.
and you said it's right by that building?
Well, I think so. Maybe this gal should call the cops. Tell her to just call the cops directly. Would that be better?
Yeah. If she could call us directly, that would be awesome. I'm going to let you go, and if you hear anything else, give us a call back, please.
Okay.
Alright, so that was the call. So from what it ended up being is, so her father, who lives in Washington State, Lauren's father, had called local 911, and their 911 center had transferred him by his request to the University of Utah Police Department, because the mother, I'm not sure if you captured all of that, but the mother was on the phone with her when all of a sudden she said no, and then like something happened, right, and she wasn't responding on her phone anymore. So this is from October 22nd, 2018, and it is the University of Utah Police Department of Public Safety is how they're listed. It's like a campus police department. Mm-hmm. And this was one of over 20 calls made regarding Lauren that month.
Oh, okay.
That month, not that day. The first 9 recordings that I listened to happened on October 10th, so 12 days before this call came in. Uh-huh. And most of those were involving a request for campus police to escort her. We get this a lot. Mm-hmm. It's like a civil thing where an officer just stands by, but it was an escort for her to go pick up her vehicle from a stadium on campus, and that vehicle was being returned by her ex-boyfriend, Melvin Rowland. So we haven't heard that name. So something I didn't realize, I guess, before going into dispatch is we always think one emergency, or at least I did, one emergency, one call. Unless it's like a mass casualty event.
Yeah.
You never think about the number of calls that come in. So for this situation alone, we had multiple calls.
I written down transfers.
Yeah.
Because of our agency, like we get so many like blind transfers, which is so scary.
It's terrifying
because I think about the Denise Amber Lee
Yes.
thing. And
Which we will definitely get into that case at some
eventually,
point.
yeah. We have that's going to be a
But
hell of
you
a
do.
case.
You get those transfers in. You get calls from the event itself.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I thought about in regards to all the calls we get. So think of a structure fire. So if best case, no, not best case scenario, but smallest case scenario, we have a single family structure that catches on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So most people are going to think that the homeowner themselves are the ones that call 911 and go, hey, my house is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens with a fire is every single person that is in sight or smell of that fire calls in.
They see the smoke from half a mile away or
Yeah,
anything.
or we'll get those random calls where they're just like, hey, something's on fire. And we're like,
where?
okay, what's on fire? I don't know, but I smell smoke. Well, we've had calls, we've had wildfires in Canada, and because of the winds, the smoke has come down to Virginia, and we're getting those calls. So imagine, in a residential neighborhood, a house catches on fire. You've got 10 to 20 people that can see the fire itself, actually see the flames. You have the homeowners themselves. You have people that on the outskirts of that community that then smell the fire. So on a general thing, we have between
If it's
one...
pretty big, we typically get,
Yeah.
not even just fire, but anything significant, like a wreck or fire or...
You're looking at 20 calls. Easy.
Even a domestic.
Yeah.
If there's more than one person there, how many people inside or outside?
Yes. Or imagine a domestic in an apartment complex.
Oh, yeah.
Every single person that hears the yelling calls in. So whenever that we have one emergency and we're dealing with that, so we're sending, in the case of the structure fire, we're sending the fire department, we're calling AEP, we're sending rescue squad. AEP is our local power company, so whatever power company is in your area. There's multiple calls that we're having to make. There's multiple calls that we're taking. It's a little chaotic to begin with, and it's like that with any bigger event that people can hear, see, or smell.
We only have 2 per shift.
We do.
Maybe 3 on a great day.
Yeah, so we typically work with 2.
Yeah.
We do have a power shift situation with our EMD schedule that allows a third person for 4 hours
And that's just...
at random.
Yeah.
It really is. It's on a volunteer basis.
But not normally with us, because
No.
we're night shift completely. But,
Yeah.
you might get someone from maybe a 7 to 8 area.
Yeah, or 6 to 7 even.
But not normally a overnight shift. So when something rolls, me and you are the only... obviously there's other night shift dispatchers who do it, but me and you on our shift, we're just
Yeah, so
holding on.
for the situation with a single structure, a single story, single family structure fire, I was we can receive between 1 and 20 to 25 calls on that one fire. And in addition to that, like I said, we're toning out fire departments, 4 fire departments
Rescue.
minimum, 2 rescue squads because we have the dual tones. We're contacting the power company. If a family is being displaced by the fire, we're contacting Red Cross to get them somewhere to stay.
Law enforcement typically.
For traffic control, you're absolutely right. And then whenever you tone those 4 fire departments, each fire department.
And this might be different in different areas.
Right. So for us, any structure
my God.
fire is automatically a 4 alarm, for lack of a better term, fire. And so we are toning 2 engines, 2 tankers. Sometimes those, if it's on the outskirts of our community, because we're a border county, we're contacting North Carolina, or we're contacting an adjacent agency for mutual aid. So there's a lot of phone calls going in and out. You and I do really well with breaking that down and being you
Right.
call this county, I'll call this county, I'll call AEP, because the power company takes forever to get that call through.
And then you get every single first responder who we appreciate. I'm not saying that, but every single Bill, Tom, and Harry. What is that expression? You know what I mean?
Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Who's Bill? Who the fuck is Bill? Is on the radio. It's hey, I'm en route, which is great. Bless you. But about the 20th person, we're oh my gosh, okay,
You've got your department
Yeah.
covered, and that's what I put in here. I was for every single department that we tone, we're handling between 2 and 15 people that are all wanting to be on the radio at the same time. I understand that some agencies have the thing where there's a commander per company, and everyone reports to them, and there's only one person per company on the radio talking to dispatch. That sounds like a absolute dream.
Yeah.
That's not our world. We live in for at least the fire side of it, everyone's volunteer.
Which, again, we appreciate.
Yeah. And so every single person is keying up from their living room while they're getting dressed. Because as you said before, all responders apparently stay naked in their home. So everyone's having to get up and get dressed. And then they are headed to the station. Everyone's keying up. They're keying up that they're en route to the station. They're keying up that they're at the station. They're keying up that they're going to roll 1, 2, 3 units, depending on how heavily manned their station is. And then you have the command itself of going to the scene. Every single fire member is wanting to develop that plan before they ever get there.
Yeah. They're like, what do you got? What do you see?
Yeah.
I mean, the first person gets on scene.
One fire member gets on scene, and he's like, I have a single story structure, flame showing on Delta side, or however their terminology goes. And then you have absolute radio chaos on just the fire side. That's one of 3 channels minimum that were manning at that
For
time.
2 people.
Yeah. So it goes into absolute chaos. So in a situation like this, where there is between 1 and 20 calls during that time.
And then I don't also think that the public, if you will, realizes that we still are taking admin calls, 911 calls that still come in, other emergency calls and things like that, and it's just 2 of us.
Oh, and then we have, like, for our agency at least, we have a jail attached to us.
Yep.
So in the middle of all that, someone's going to be released, and they're going to call for a wanted
check.
Yeah, call for a wanted check or to get a copy of something. It's always going to be like the most mundane call that comes in, and we're like, not right now. Give me 20 seconds. So it does become absolute chaos. And the thing that I put in here is I'm very fortunate that I work with you during those moments, because your brain is beautiful to watch in those moments. Like, your ADHD kicks in and you thrive in chaos.
I love chaos, man.
You become a little bored, I think, with like the
really do.
the routine calls. But as soon as shit,
I mean, I'm grateful that we get them because, like, nothing bad is happening, but overall, like, the adrenaline is.
But give you a high priority call. Give you a multi-story or multi-family structure fire. Give you a pursuit, and your brain, like, I always think of it as like a manual transmission when you gear down to pass somebody. Like, you gear down and you are gone.
Yeah.
And it is a beautiful thing to watch, because you're
that.
sitting there, you're manning all 3 channels by yourself. I'm on the phone with AEP.
And tickled to death, man. But I would not probably be tickled if I was with anyone else, because I just know you have what I don't have, if that makes sense, though.
And so what I put in here is that you go into hyper-focus mode, where you're on 3 phones at once. I've seen you do this. You have 2 hard phones, plus your headset, plus radio traffic. And I'm like, what can I do? And you're like, I'm fine.
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, you act like it's just like reading the fucking newspaper. You are just calm.
I love that.
And the funniest part of all of it, and no one else gets to see this but me, and it makes me so happy, is I look over at you when everything is just literally on fire, and your feet are kicking like a child on a swing set. You are the happiest you've ever been in absolute
such
chaos.
a shitty situation, but I love chaos. Like, I'm like, oh, I know exactly what to do. No.
And so I just sit back and grab what I can here and there.
Yeah.
But you are absolutely fantastic in those moments.
I love you.
All right. You're welcome. So September 2nd. So the call that we just heard was October 22nd. So we're going to backtrack a little bit to September 2nd, 2018. Lauren McCluskey, who is a 21-year-old student athlete at the University of Utah, met Melvin Sean Rowland.
Athlete of what?
She was a multi-sport. Yeah. I believe her biggest thing was track and field. She was a runner. Can't relate.
Nope.
But yeah, she was. She participated in multiple sports. She had.
You're always like, if I'm running, I can't shoot it. So.
Exactly. I've always said, if you see me running, you better run too, because whatever I'm running from is bulletproof. Because I assure you, I've tried to shoot it before I've tried to run from it. It's just easier. All right. So she had met she was 21. She had met Melvin Sean Rowland at a bar where he was a bouncer. So like an off-campus bar. The two began a short relationship, and Rowland would often come to her dorm and visit her, as one does when they're a college student, and it actually kind of got to know her roommates and like the students that lived there and stuff. So there was like a open communication between him and the ones in her dorm. So that was September 2nd. So on October 9th, So little over a month after they started their relationship, Lauren learned that Roland had lied about his age. I don't know how old he told her he was. She's 21. He's actually 37. So little age gap.
Yeah.
Which is fine if she knows that going in.
Yeah.
But if you lie about that, that's a little different.
That's weird.
And the other part that he did not tell her that she found out was that he was a registered sex offender.
Oh.
And not that we're condoning it, but this is not one of those I'm 18, my girlfriend was 17 situations. Like, from the research that I done, he was whatever age, but he was fully an adult, and he was arranging to meet with what he believed was a 13-year-old girl.
Oh.
Yeah, fuck him. It was an officer, like an ICAC investigator, like what we have, that was posing online as a 13-year-old girl. Is how he ended up getting arrested
Fuck
the first
him.
time. Yeah.
I hate him.
And so he was a registered sex offender. She confronted him with this information in her dorm room, and he admitted to being a registered sex offender. And then he ended up somehow, I don't know what the conversation entailed, but he ended up spending the night in her dorm that night. So I can't imagine how the conversation went from, hey.
I'm sure it was a lot. So
Yeah.
I can't blame her for just being like,
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. Like, whatever you want to do.
Just sleep.
Yeah.
And so that's when he borrowed her car because he needed to go run errands. So remember whenever I said that there was like 10 calls about returning the car or whatever? He had borrowed her car
Oh, okay.
back on October 9th to run errands. And then October 10th is when all those calls came in about having an escort with her to the stadium to go get her car because she was a little leery of him because obviously he had lied. Like there was some shadiness there.
Yeah.
And so her and her mom had ended up calling campus police to be like, hey, can an officer just go with her to pick up this vehicle? So October 12th, she contacted campus police because she felt like that she was being kind of harassed a little bit. She had received suspicious messages that she thought was from friends of her ex-boyfriend. So like random numbers were just texting her not very nice text messages, to put it lightly. One of the text messages had told her that Roland had died. Not sure what his manner of death was supposed to have been at that point, but blamed her for it. So maybe if it was like a suicide situation, being like, you breaking up with him caused this. So she's going through a lot, thinking that one, he's dead, two,
She
five
was
or
like
s- yeah.
cause of it.
Yeah, and like 5 or 6 people had messaged her saying these things. She went to social media and found out that he was not, in fact, dead. The University of Utah campus police asked if she felt in danger or threatened by the text, and she said, no, I don't really feel like I'm in danger, but she did tell police that she felt like Roland's friends were attempting to lure her somewhere. So, red flags.
Yeah, for sure.
That was on the 12th. So on the 13th, Lauren contacted University Police saying that she had received more messages that she believed were from either Roland or his friends. And she said that the messages demanded that she pay them money in exchange for not posting compromising photos of her. So she's a college student. She's dating this new guy. Text messages were exchanged. Photos were exchanged. Some of hers were not the ones that you would want.
Exposed and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently there was a threat. If you don't pay me money.
God, it sounds like so much of our stuff that happened.
We see this all the time.
Yeah.
We see it a lot with people who go online and it's,
Look for that relationship online.
yeah, and there's like a hoax situation. So they
Yeah.
lure you in. They get you to
Catfishy.
post. Yeah, they get you to post or send photos of yourself, and then they're like, "Hey, if you don't pay me money,
nude.
yeah, and if you don't pay me money, I'm gonna post these," which can ruin your career. It can ruin your family life. I mean, there's a lot of risk there. So don't send those messages unless you actually know the person. Is always a good rule of thumb.
No. Don't send them at all. Even if you never know someone.
That's true.
I hate people.
Lauren, in an attempt to prevent this from happening, ended up sending Roland $1,000.
$1,000 as a college student too.
I know. In hopes that the photos would be kept private, University police said the case was then assigned to a detective who was going to follow up on sexual extortion charges. So there is a code section prohibiting extorting money for someone to not reveal photos. On October 19th, the university police started the investigation based on the extortion things. The detective had called Lauren to try to get more information about it, and he was trying to narrow down the phone numbers because there was multiple numbers that was texting her, and he was trying to figure out who they belonged to in order to issue warrants for this. And that was on the 19th. So campus police ended up accessing security video, and it showed Roland at various locations around the University of Utah campus. This is after they had broke up, after the car exchange.
And he was not a student there.
He was not a student there.
Okay.
And he was just randomly on campus. So then we get into October 22nd. So the detective that had been assigned to her extortion charges had emailed Lauren, and she had emailed him back and said that she had received additional texts from unknown numbers who the people that were texting her were claiming to be the deputy chief Rick McLennan. So she's receiving a text from a random number she doesn't know that's saying that this person that's texting her is a detective, and the university police said that they believe that that text came from Roland with the intent of luring Lauren from her dorm room. So dorms are locked down. Like, you have to badge into the building itself and then be let into the actual dorm room. He was trying to get her outside.
That's shitty.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
And she doesn't know. Like, you don't have detectives' numbers in your phone.
No.
You get a random...
Oh, if I had, like, an active ongoing investigation with someone and, like, they were like, hey, like, let's talk real quick, can you step out? I would probably... I mean, I would. But, like, a lot of people would not think twice about it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's super
and
suspicious.
It's pretty much what he was counting on. So Roland waited for Lauren and some of her friends in the resident hall from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And he then later confronted her in the parking lot outside of this hall. And he approached her around 8:20 p.m. based on camera footage and stuff. And she was on the phone with her mom.
Was that the call we heard?
That was the call we heard. Yeah. So he walked up to her, grabbed her. She ended up dropping her phone, dropping her backpack, her belongings. He then drug her across the parking lot.
I fucking hate them.
Yeah. He drug her to a different spot in the parking lot where he forced her into the backseat of a car. Someone else's car that he had borrowed, because this is not the kind of man who owns his own vehicle or has anything great going for him in life. Right. While in the back seat, he ended up shooting her several times, killing her. So the report said that she was shot at least 7 times in her chest, head, and shoulder. That was around 8:20. So at 8:23 p.m., so 3 minutes from whenever this happened, that's the call we heard. Her dad calls local 911, who's then transferred to campus police to report that she was on the phone with her mom when something happened to her, but they didn't know what. Of course, she dropped her phone in her backpack, so they didn't hear the shots. They just heard her screaming, no, no, no. And then the line was just dead air at that point. It was still open. It was dead air.
But how many times have you been on the phone, like, to feel safe? You know what I mean? And it doesn't even... I hate to say it mean anything, because, I mean, obviously this was, like, beneficial. I hate to say beneficial is probably not the best word to say. But...
someone was aware of what was happening.
Can you imagine, like, walking in a dark parking lot and you're like, I'm on the phone, like, I feel safer because I'm, like, on the phone. If something happens, they can hear me, and, like...
I mean, yeah. I mean, just imagine I'm not in town. Yeah. Let's just say that I'm traveling somewhere, and I'm in that situation. I call you to have someone to just, like, calm my nerves. We've talked about that. Like, sometimes you just need somebody else on the phone when you're freaking out. And then if you hear something, you're not there to help. So, I mean, you have my location, so you can tell people where I was. But in this situation, the phone gets dropped. So it's not even a matter of tracking the phone itself.
Yeah. That's sad.
Yeah. So that call from her dad came in at 8:23 p.m. At 8:32 p.m., police arrive on scene. And we heard the third party that found her phone and backpack, like, towards the end of the call.
The call was... Placed at what?
The call from her dad comes in at 8:23 p.m. At 8:32 p.m., police are on scene.
Damn, pretty good time.
It really is. Now, this is campus police. This is not...
Yeah.
We have...
County.
Yeah, we have very few officers. We have...
No, but still...
500 square miles, and our officers can be 45 minutes away from a call. Absolutely. And that's driving emergency traffic.
Yeah.
So, campus police, a little closer.
Which is good. I mean, not... Anyway, go ahead.
So they arrived with a person who had stayed with her phone and her backpack, and they start searching the area.
Was that just a random person who just came up on it? Okay.
Yeah, person just walked through the parking lot, found her phone that was still connected to her mom. So that's
I heard
part of
that.
the call
We heard
that we
that
heard.
part.
And they ended up searching her dorm and the surrounding parking lot, but didn't find anything. That was at 8:32. So at 8:38 p.m., an acquaintance of Roland
Fuck him.
picks him up from campus. So he didn't take the car back with him because that's the car he drug Lauren into.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to call a friend to come get him. So this friend arrived at 8:38 p.m. He then leaves with this friend who's a female, and they go
My God.
they go get dinner. He then went to her place, showered.
Where's Lauren?
She's in the backseat of the car he drug her into and shot her.
And he just left her?
He just left her in the backseat of the car. Of his friend's car that he borrowed. And then he calls another friend to be such a piece of shit. He has a lot of friends.
He called another bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And so this woman picks him up, takes him back to her place. He showers, which is suspicious. Maybe it's just me.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, I don't know, has situations.
Like, if you just called me and said, hey, I need a ride, my car broke down, and I come get you, and you come back to my house, and the first thing you want to do is take a shower, and be like, well, that's weird.
No, you wouldn't.
I mean, you've never showered at my house.
I've only been to your house like 3 fucking times. You've been at my house a bunch, but
I've never showered at your house.
But if you wanted
Have
to,
I?
I would.
No, I haven't showered at your house.
But if you wanted to, I probably wouldn't think twice about it. Like,
if I just like walk to the door and be like, I need to take a shower, you're like, why?
okay. Next topic.
So, he comes in, takes a shower, ends up making some coffee. He's just chilling. Like, there's no indication anything's
This
majorly
motherfucker
wrong.
made coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
So, while he's in her apartment, just relaxing, she has the news on. And she ends up seeing a mugshot of the man who is in her apartment of Roland
Oh no.
on the news. And so she ends up calling the police.
As she
I'm
should.
assuming discreetly. I would. If he's just killed somebody, I'm not going to be like, hey, he's sitting on my couch.
This motherfucker's right beside me.
She told the police that she had met Roland on a dating app, and he told her his
Oh,
name.
that's a little different. Like, he met her on a dating app. And was
Yeah.
like, hey, can I take a shit? Can I wash my ass in your house?
Right.
Like, that's a little different.
They met on a dating app, and I'm sorry, he told her his name was Apollo Santos.
Wow.
He makes up fake names. Like, he didn't, like, Lauren's dad didn't know his real name. He gave a different name on the original call when he was explaining who the ex-boyfriend was.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, Roland does not tell the truth.
Obviously.
He's not making good life choices. So I'm like, I'm thinking
sad.
about, like, you, meet someone online and invite them into your home. Okay? If you can get past that.
Mm-hmm.
While he is in your house, you don't know this man. He showered or whatever. He's sitting on your couch, and you just happen to be watching the news, and you see his face on your TV as I'm assuming at that point, person of interest in an abduction or a missing person, because they hadn't actually found Lauren at that point. I can't even imagine what that would be like. Just be sitting there and just be like,
At your house, you usually have like a gun at any fucking distance, arm distance anyway.
fair enough.
So.
I'm assuming this female did not.
Oh, well, yeah. That's Utah. They're probably different.
Not everyone has a firearm in all rooms. There's not one.
Arms reach. That's what I was looking for.
There's not one in the bathroom. 'Cause
Yes, there is.
moisture. No,
It's
there's one just outside the
I
bathroom
thought
on the
you
dresser.
took it in there with you.
Not normally, just because of moisture, and I don't want to have to continuously oil the
I
gun.
swear I thought someone said that they had like a shower beer.
Shower beer or shower gun?
no,
Because that's
sorry.
different.
Sorry, it's a shower gun. I'm sorry.
I do not have a shower gun.
I do.
You have a shower gun?
Yeah, you can get me naked.
Remind me to clean and oil that whatever gun is your shower gun, because the moisture is not great for metal.
Roll on.
Okay. So that was
That's so weird. How would you rather be attacked butt ass naked and not have something in arm's reach, but you would rather be like sitting at your damn rocking chair and some bullshit.
The fact that I have a rocking chair pisses me off right now.
I don't know. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
But I mean, like, yes, there's one like in the bedroom.
This is going on YouTube, bitch.
There's one in the living room. There's one off the kitchen.
Oh my god. Are we going to tell the fucking serial killer everywhere of where it is in the house?
There's always one within reach except for the bathroom.
We need to add one.
So at 8:38 p.m. is whenever that she sees his mugshot on the news.
Okay.
At 9:55 p.m. is when they actually find Lauren's body in the back of the vehicle located in a parking lot on campus.
That breaks my heart.
So it happened around 8:20. They don't find her body till around 9:55. So at 9:56, so 1 minute later, they wasted no time. They put the campus on lockdown. As most schools are going to do. I mean, we've just had situations where it wasn't on school itself, it was just nearby, and we locked down schools.
Yeah.
So I'm sure on campus that's immediate. At 11:46 p.m.,
And this was 2018, so.
it was, yeah. So all of this is on October 22nd of 2018. So at 11:46 p.m. that night, they determined. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
They determined that the suspect had left campus. So apparently they had done like a search of the entire area, checked all the dorms because they're under lockdown. So they can go through pretty quickly. And they've determined that the suspect was no longer on campus. So the alert was lifted for the stay in place order.
Okay.
On the 23rd at 12:01 a.m., an alert identifying the suspect as Melvin Rowland is sent out to the entire campus. So this is like a reverse 911 thing that they have on campus. So anyone who's on campus is getting this on their like a text message. So once they identified who Melvin Rowland was and that he was the person of interest or the suspect in the situation, they thought that he was living in a halfway house. So he was in prison or jail, whatever the case may be.
For the sexual
assault. Yeah. And a lot of times when someone gets out, part of their probation or parole is they go into a halfway house, which is still like minimal security, but it's allowing them to like get a job and reintroduce themselves to society. That's where they thought he was. No one's keeping track of this man. Obviously, he was not in a halfway house.
Yeah.
They did not even learn that he was on parole until after she was killed. So she had called and reported all these text messages, all these phone calls, the extortion charges.
She did what she could to protect herself.
She did. And they did not get far enough in their investigation to even determine that this person was on parole.
Okay. But hell, I mean, that was several weeks.
It was. Yeah. It was at least a month because it was like early September until
I ain't
late
gonna
October.
more quarterback it, but that seems a bit long to try not realize that.
I do wonder.
For a Utah campus.
I do wonder what their call volume's like and how many cases that their investigators had.
For a fucking campus
For
police?
a campus.
No.
There can't be that many that's high priority.
That's what I was going to say. Like, in emergent situations, like, and I understand there's probably I don't even know how I'm trying to say this. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to say something shitty if I say it like that, but...
There's a lot of non-emergency calls that are coming in, like random...
but I think more bullshit investigations that are
you're
happening
getting frat
going
fights
on.
or DUIs or something
Stuff
like that.
And when, like, you need to, like, be investigating, like, these types of threats and the rapes and things like that. And, I've never even heard of Utah University, so who the fuck do I know that they don't have high call volume? But anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
So once they determine who it was, they start kind of zeroing in on him and his property.
Didn't he shove thing?
It's
go ahead.
in my pants, which are in your bedroom.
That sounds kinky.
Yeah. So when they ended up searching his apartment, they did find a double pistol magazine pouch, and on his computer...
Is that what killed Lauren?
Well, the double pistol magazine pouch. It's just like a part of a holster that carries multiple mags. Like our officers, they carry 3 or 4 on their belt in addition to what's in their firearm.
But it's not like specific to the type of pew pew?
Holsters are, mag pouches are not typical.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So on his computer, they located several email accounts that were set up, and I don't fully understand this, but I'm not a tech person, that would self-destruct if anything was sent from them.
Okay.
They also tied him to several spoofed phone numbers. So remember where she was getting those text messages from multiple numbers, and she was thinking it was like this whole group of friends.
It
of
was
his?
just him.
It was just him.
He got like just obsessed with her or something.
He did
like
quickly,
very
quickly.
oddly.
Relationship was
September,
5-6 weeks.
Yeah.
Max.
Like so, just over a month.
Yeah.
And that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like you never like know someone like that.
Yeah. So they ended up, based on his information and his cell phone and like all the tracking capabilities that they had at the time, they ended up tracking him to a nearby Salt Lake City church.
Oh.
And once they started closing in on this church, Roland ended up committing suicide as the officers closed in. Yeah.
If he did it, like we're 100% sure he did what he did.
Oh yeah.
Okay, then fuck him. Congratulations.
Yeah. He had apparently, like, with his other friends he was talking to, he had told people that he had done this. He, of course, being a convicted felon, was not able to have a firearm.
Yeah.
He had borrowed one from a friend.
How did
I'm telling you.
pieces should have friends.
Felons can get guns. Like, gun laws are not going to stop bad people from
No.
gathering firearms. I'm not going to get into the political side of it, but if people are wanting to hurt people, they will find a way.
Oh my gosh. Oh, never mind. I was gonna go into the gun thing. I have a quote. It's off 7-10 I'm sure.
So on June 27th of 2019, so several months after this happened, Lauren's parents ended up filing a $56 million lawsuit against
Utah?
Against the University of Utah.
Good.
Absolutely. They basically said that there were plenty of red flags there.
Yes.
There were plenty of issues that were raised that they felt like the university did not
failed her.
protect. Yeah,
I
they
agree.
did not protect their daughter. And whenever you're sending your child to school, you expect at the very least that they're going to be safe.
Yeah. But Lauren reached out to these like what you are like ingrained as you grow up, like police are to help you, all these things, and like she did that. She did the steps, and they felt her not completing the steps that needed to be taken.
And not even just her, like her mom was the one calling about getting the escort to pick up her vehicle and stuff.
Okay.
Like her family was aware of the situation and tried to involve campus police and just say, hey, there's potential for danger here. So,
They never take women but anyone seriously until it's
something
too
happens.
late. And that's sad.
That's normally how most laws and stuff get changed, is someone has to lose their life.
But it's sad. It's ridiculous.
So the police chief ended up retiring shortly after. So that's always, there's some fault there. Like, that never coincides. So you don't just decide to retire when this is going on. And the campus announced, this was August of 2019, so little less than a year after these events happened, that it was going to...
When did the chief resign?
He resigned July 16th. So murder happened October 22nd. July of the following year, police chief resigns. August of the following year.
But when did her parents sued? Like right before July, right?
The parents ended up filing lawsuit in June.
Yeah,
June
so
27th.
that coincides right there. Okay, go ahead.
And then in August is when the university announced that it was going to invest nearly $1 million in campus safety.
Good.
Great, but
A little too late.
doesn't help Lauren.
Yeah.
So
But it would help the next Lauren.
it would,
I mean,
which
I
is
hate that.
kind of
at
where
least her murder basically wasn't in
made
one
some
thing.
changes.
Yeah.
So in September, the University of Utah filed a motion asking the judge to dismiss the lawsuit. And in September, an assembly of students ended up doing a protest. So these students are saying, hey, our campus is not keeping us safe. There are a lot of fail-safes that could be put in place that are not, and we want change. So a lot of what ended up happening was from a grassroots movement from the students themselves, is they wanted more security. So in September, the University of Utah expressed concern and said that University Police Department does not, listen very carefully, does not have responsibility to protect students.
Excuse the fuck out of me?
When threats against students are made by those not currently attending the university.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
That's what they said. I copied and pasted that to try to translate something wrong.
Wow.
In addition, they stated that the statements made by the University of Utah were seen as victim blaming. That the university was taking on the role of the victim.
Oh, I need to hush. Fuck them.
That enraged me. Like, do you see how big this font is? Excuse me, they don't have the responsibility?
Oh, shit.
I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
Wild.
You are bringing people.
But let it be
babies.
but that's what I'm saying. Let it be their fucking daughter or their son
Absolutely.
or any of their niece, nephew, whatever it may be. And like them to like have someone tell them it's not their responsibility to do it.
So you're only protecting your students from other students. Any outside force, you are not responsible to protect your students
So
from.
is that the same way with like SROs and stuff like that?
No, SROs
That's what I'm
are there
saying,
to protect them from external threats.
From anyone, like anyone and anything, basically. And it's just, I mean, I understand like like a university is a lot larger than a high school or a middle school or elementary school and things, but it
Which
doesn't.
is why instead of having one SRO, they have a whole fucking police department.
And that's sad. Like, how do you not think? Well, if that's anyone's mindset with the university, but like, how's it anyone's mindset with like? I mean, these are kids, young adults. Like, I don't give a damn if it's an 80-year-old woman. Like, everyone still needs to be protected at some point.
And even if you feel like it's not your role to protect against outside forces, this is less than a year from when it happened, and you're going to tell her family that you didn't owe her protection.
Yeah.
That people in this country that are paying, I mean, we know what college tuition in the U.S. is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that doesn't come with some understanding of security, because all of your
I'm surprised this isn't bigger than it is.
I know.
That's wild.
So that's whenever the protest escalated a little bit. Because now you've told every other student on your campus that they have no expectation of protection from anything outside of that campus.
And they can't have the means to protect themselves, like
Correct.
with like weapons and things like that.
Yeah, because it's school grounds.
Yeah.
You can't, I don't care if you are above the age of 21 and have a concealed carry permit, you still can't carry on a college campus.
Yeah.
And just think about, like, we've gone to like college football games and stuff. You can drive onto any college campus in the U.S.
and
never be questioned. The only time that you're ID'd is going into a stadium.
Yeah.
So,
or into something significant, like you're exactly right, something significant like that.
So on October 22nd, 2019, so a year of the anniversary of whenever Lauren died, 200 students stood outside the Park Building in President Circle to protest the school's response to student safety concerns. So you're getting a lot of students that are taking the battle on themselves.
That's amazing that it was like a year later, like that, like, I don't want to say momentum had like died down, but like there were still 200 people who were like, felt that enough to be like, I need to go. Especially kids. Or, young adults, whatever you want to call it.
So in May of 2020, so we know that Roland died and like that case itself was closed, but there were so many other parts that come up. So May of 2020, so a year and a half after the crimes, there was a claim that one of the officers, one of the investigators that were handling her extortion case of the nude photos,
Utah police or whatever,
apparently he was accused, allegedly, of sharing those photos outside of the scope of the investigation.
Stop it.
No. It was with coworkers.
I hate men.
So other law enforcement officers.
I hate fucking
but
men.
They had no involvement in the case.
Like no context to understand what it was.
Correct. It was just, hey, here's a 21-year-old student athlete. Here's her nude photos that she sent to her quote-unquote boyfriend / murderer. And yeah.
So where is he? Hopefully upside down somewhere.
So investigations went back and forth, and
How
first
did you do that? Okay, we'll do that after. Sorry.
At first, they said that they couldn't determine if any not even laws had been broken, because there's no law against an officer showing another officer evidence necessarily.
Isn't
There's
evidence.
civil suits for the ethics
which is
of
probably
it.
not even worth it.
Probably not.
No.
But Lauren's family wasn't going to stop.
Hell yeah.
So
Roll
I
on.
love them for that.
Yeah.
And so on August 5th, the University of Utah released the results of the investigation, and they showed that private photos tied to McCluskey's extortion were shown to other officers not involved in the case. So whenever that it went through the investigation,
So he exploited a dead female
correct.
in the most, oh my god,
Disgusting way possible.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck him. Who was that?
That his name was Miguel Dureras.
Miguel
Deras was his last name.
Dureras. Miguel.
So-
bitch ass Dureras.
Those results came out on August 5th. It still took them 2 days to fire him.
Oh my god.
I don't know if they had to discuss severance package or what, but on August 7th, he was fired by the
shit, too.
Yeah. And his reason for termination was that his behavior was inconsistent with the high expectations and standards for officers in the department.
Shut the fuck up.
That is the most politically correct bullshit I've ever read in my life.
Utah University, whatever it is.
Utah University Police
If I
Department,
know
Public
a
Safety.
fucking soul, they're never going there. Because I understand like a lot of shit's happening on campus that we're not even talking about right now, but no.
Yeah.
I appreciate Lauren's parents for taking the extra step. Like, I understand it's not easy and things like that, but people need to be held accountable.
It gets better. So we love someone who takes tragedy and tries to benefit society from it. We talked about Denise Amberly, and we'll get into that story.
100%.
So Lauren's parents formed the Lauren McCluskey Foundation. And I went on their website. It's a beautiful site. It tells Lauren's story. And their mission statement is transferring campus safety and supporting student well-being, honoring the life and spirit of Lauren McCluskey. We seek to change campus safety cultures with respect to the response to the relationship violence and stalking by increasing awareness, increasing campus communities' sense of responsibilities, and providing resources to enhance the immediacy and effectiveness of the responses.
It's amazing.
They are working not just with the University of Utah, but with colleges around the United States.
That's amazing. They're protecting other people's children.
They are. They
As Utah University police should, but
yeah. So I love that they have taken a tragedy and tried to make something beneficial out of it.
absolutely. I love that.
Yeah. So brings us to our quote.
Oh gosh.
And I found this one and I was like, it is perfect.
Oh goodness.
It says, he was a weak man, the sort who needed to crush a woman in order to feel powerful. And that is by John Mark Green.
I know that one actually.
I figured you did.
Yeah.
I
That's
figured
awesome.
you did.
That's a perfect quote for this.
I know.
I love that. I mean, fuck him, fuck Miguel, fuck all of them.
Yeah.
Lauren's parents are pure angel babies and everything like that, but something needs to be done. That's insane that we're still, I mean, that's 2019 and 2018 area.
Yeah.
So I mean, not like,
that long ago.
no, it's
And
sad.
It would be, I would be curious to see around the country what changes have been made based on her story.
Yeah,
And I'm wondering, like, I hadn't heard her story
either.
until I found this one, and I'm wondering if her story is being shared on campuses. And
I hope so.
I'd be very curious to know.
I hope her like death had a, I hate to say positive outlook
But,
on stuff,
yeah.
but like I
But
hope they save other
it-
kids.
Yeah, that it at least effective change.
Yeah, awesome.
So we hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode of Nefarious, and we look forward to you joining us next time with our next case.
Okay, love you. Bye.